Welcome inside the Daskalakis Athletic Center on the campus of Drexel University, where tonight it's the Illinois State Redbirds who come calling on the Drexel Dragons. And hello once again, everyone. Todd Harris along with former Georgetown great Ron Thompson. Glad to have you with us tonight. It's the Missouri Valley Conference paying a visit to the CAA. And I'll tell you what, Missouri Valley Conference and the Redbirds, they come in loaded. They've got a young man in Jackie Carmichael who is very talented. A lot of people think this kid may be ready to take the next step. So good that Sports Illustrated put him as a game changer. Now the big question is, why is he a game changer?
Well, I call him Mr. Carmichael. Anytime you have accrued over 1,000 points, over 1,000 rebounds, he gets after it. He has an awesome motor for a big. He really gets going on the offensive glass, runs the floor, and scores it.
And across the way for the Drexel Dragons, the preseason CAA Conference Player of the Year in Franz Mazenet.
Franz makes that engine go for the Drexel Dragons. Orchestrates the tempo, doesn't allow you to speed him up, has a tremendous assist-to-turnover ratio. He really wants to bounce back because in his first game this year against Kent State, he didn't have a good outing.
As we mentioned, Drexel looking for their first victory, coming off an overtime loss at Kent State, 66-62. As we take a look at the starting lineup, who you will not see there is none other than Jackie Carmichael. Moments ago, we were notified that he will not start tonight's game, but he will play, and that is a coach's decision. No other information was given, and so we will go with that. Head coach Dan Muller in his first year at his alma mater. He played at Illinois State. In fact, he hit the game winner the last time they were in the NCAA tournament in an overtime win over Tennessee. Muller now in the huddle there with the rest of his squad getting ready for their first road game. He is a perfect 1-0 on the season, looking to go 2-0. Across the way, the homestanding Drexel Dragons and their starting lineup. Franz Mazenet, Damian Lee, Derek Thomas, Darte Ruffin, and Big Daryl McCoy, number 44. And their head man, James Bruiser Flint, in his 12th year, a product of St. Joseph, a Philly native, looking to get his squad their first win. Talking with some of the coaching staff, saying that loss to Kent State, the team just did not come out with confidence, and they gave credit to Kent State. They said they just outplayed us, but that's not the kind of team we are. The Triple D, Drexel DAC dominance. Look at those numbers, 105-37. They've won 18 of their last 19 games here at the Daskalakis.
Bruiser Flint's done a great job at building his program from the ground up.
Our officials tonight, Mike Sanzier, Dan Chrisman, and Zelton Steed, and we are underway at the DAC. And right off the bat, the Redbirds go at it. Tyler Brown on the receiving end as the 6'4" senior out of Kentucky goes up high to put it down.
What a way to start a game on the road with a lob.
And Mazenet tangled up. Here it is.
Simple back screen, no backside help. Right there, we just saw defensively pressure on the ball by the Redbirds. They want this pace to be up-tempo, frantic pace. Drexel wants to slow it down just a tad.
We spoke with Dan Muller earlier today at the team shoot-around. He said, we want to get after it, but don't get us wrong. We won't run if we don't have to, but he said we like to push the pace. So an early 2-0 lead for Illinois State off the very nice statement play. Illinois State in a pure man-to-man. And a beautiful pass down low. Ruffin on the receiving end of that great pass. Shot goes awry and stays alive, and it will stay with Illinois State.
Don't be surprised at all by that shot by Allen. The Redbirds want to shoot quickly. They want as many possessions in this game as they possibly can.
And for head coach Muller, when you're recruiting kids, you say, you know, we're going to run and we're going to score a lot. It's got to be a little bit of an edge.
It is, because what you want to do, you want to run, you want to have fun playing up-tempo style. But to run and play that way, you have to use a lot of body. So you know, as a freshman coming in, you're going to see some court time.
Illinois State, 42, Jordan Treloff.
Treloff getting called for the loose ball foul. The 6'10" sophomore out of DeKalb, Illinois, his first. Filling in for Jackie Carmichael, who was scheduled to start until just prior to tip-off, and we were notified by Illinois State that he would not be starting. Coach's decision. Franz Mazenet forcing the issue, gets himself down there, and he's fouled.
Illinois State, number 42, Jordan Treelock.
All right, you've been there before, Coach Thompson. You don't want to speculate, but when you sit out for the first 90 seconds of the game, Coach just sending a message?
No question. Something he did that Coach liked, whether it was come late for a meeting or come late for a class, you can't take it for granted.
Mazenet good on the first, so Carmichael, number 32, checks into the game, as we said, featured in Sports Illustrated as a game changer. Carmichael is a design major, and I bring that up because the uniforms that Illinois State is wearing tonight were designed by none other than Jackie Carmichael.
Versatile young man with a lot of talents.
4-2, Drexel on top of Illinois State. Not only does he impress in the classroom, but he impressed at that LeBron James Skill Academy, really where a lot of coaches say he burst onto the scene.
Well, what happened is he played so well there, he got the attention of a lot of pro scouts. Tonight on the baseline, we've got the Detroit Pistons and the Washington Wizards in here tonight to take a look at him.
Keza Keane, the freshman out of Canada, Ajax, Ontario, called for the travel. Early going here from the DAC in Philadelphia. Drexel taking on Illinois State. Illinois State saying a very pesky man-to-man defense. Carmichael left his man to help out, and that left open a wide-open Dragon. Illinois State has had 5 possessions early on in this game, Ron. Already 2 turnovers is something you know Dan Muller is not going to be happy about.
Exactly. Drexel wants to pressure the ball as much inside from the three-point line and in. They won't extend their defense like Illinois State will, but they will get after it in the half court.
Tyler Brown's shot goes awry. And there's a foul away from the ball.
Foul on Illinois State, number 0, Keza Keane.
Last possession for Drexel.
Team's third.
Attacking the basket. That right there is a change from the last game against Kent State. Last game, they took far too many jump shots. They haven't taken one yet. They're trying to get closer to the basket.
And Daryl McCoy able to clean it up. As we mentioned, Jackie Carmichael was there on the help defense, and McCoy left all alone in the front of the rim. And again, great offensive rebounding by the Dragons. This time Darte Ruffin there to clean it up.
Todd, Ruffin as well as McCoy, their load on the inside. Their skill set offensively isn't as flexible as Carmichael, but they're a beast around that basket with put-ins. They set solid screens. They do a great job at getting the perimeter guys open for Drexel.
Carmichael gets his first look. He is fouled. Ruffin called for the foul, and that'll send Carmichael to the line. We talked about just how impactful he is on this squad, a young man who really had a huge game in their opener against UC Santa Barbara when they won 100-72. 27 points, 10 boards that game. He was an absolute monster. What I was impressed with is he's extended his game just a bit. He'll take the 12-foot, 15-foot wide open jump shot, which he has to be able to do if he wants to get to the next level, because his size, he's strong, has great size for this level. But at the next level, he's got to show a little versatility. You've been around the college and the pro game quite a bit. What is, for the kids that are watching or studying, the biggest difference playing college ball and then going to the pro level?
Strength. Strength without a doubt. And then the skill set. People take for granted at how skilled some of those guys are at the next level. You see guys sitting on the bench and you say, oh, God, I'm better than him. Yeah, trust me, you're not.
Well, I think it's always comical, too. You hear teams in college say, oh, Kentucky is so good, or Indiana is so good. Great drive there by Derek Thomas. They could probably beat the worst team in the NBA, and you talk to people that know, they say, there's no way in the world that would happen.
Trust me, they'd get blown out. You're playing against grown men at the next level.
And once again, they switch it over. McCoy this time guarding Carmichael, and he's fouled.
Watch this. Drive that time by Derek Thomas. Again, the last game, Bruiser Flint felt as though they took far too many jump shots. They're attacking the basket, doing what they do best, putting pressure on the defense. On the other side, this guy right here is a tough guard because offensively he's so active. Whenever they throw him the ball on the block, he's trying to score. When they throw him the ball, he has the green light to face up. He has the green light to attack each and every possession.
Carmichael misses the back end. It's a 10-5 Drexel lead coming up on 16 minutes to play here in the first half from Philadelphia. I'm sure that's exactly where they'd like to get Mazenet to operate way out near the half court as a traveling violation is called. Second turnover for the Dragons. Bruiser Flint looking on, his squad on top by 5. Ron, as you look at the flow of this game early on, who does it favor?
Right now, it's a little too early to tell. Both teams have seemed a little rusty.
Yeah.
I think that Drexel's coming out playing very, very intense defensively because they want to get back on track. It's their first game at home, and they want to get this thing going in the right direction.
Big make there for John Wilkins, number 13. He's a 6'9" senior from France. He has closed the lead down to 3, but it's still the Dragons on top, 10-7. 73, and when he got to the Sixers, he had to pass a little bit more, but his supporting cast was not too shabby. Hope to visit with Doug later on in the game as he comes to town over here to University City to take in his alma mater. Good
job that time by the Redbirds. They threw a little wrinkle in out of the timeout. They ran a little run and jump, trapped right around half court. Drexel wasn't prepared for it. In the first game against UC Santa Barbara, all they showed was straight man-to-man. So when you're scouting, you don't know what to look for because now they're throwing little wrinkles in as they go on in the season.
Underneath, Carmichael gets hung up, kicks it out to Zeisloff. He's off the mark. And the Redbirds keep it alive. And again, on the baseline, Jackie Carmichael has found a home, and for the third time, he'll go to the line.
That's the kind of pressure he puts on the defense because every time he catches the ball, you know he's trying to score. As you see, they run a little pick and roll. He slips it. They throw it inside to him, and all night long, McCoy's going to know every time this guy touches the ball, he's trying to score. Thus, he's picked up his second foul. He's going to have to take a breather, and they're going to continue to throw bodies at Carmichael to try to wear him down.
That is one thing that Illinois State may have on Drexel is the depth. They have players, they can go 9, 10 deep, no problem for head coach Dan Muller. Drexel, not as much, but a lot of pressure on the Dragons as they come in. You know, last year off that great season, 29-7, they got, in their minds, snubbed in the NCAA. They made it to the third round of the NIT, but big expectations here at University City.
Huge expectations. 4 of their 5 guys are back. You know, 85% of their scoring is back. A lot of expectations. And sometimes you try to duplicate what you did last year. It's a totally new season.
They bring in their instant offense man off the bench. That's Chris Fouch. Mazenet, he'll take it right to the lane. Blocked away. Great defensive recovery by Jackie Carmichael. But Franz Mazenet is going to the line.
Nice steal right here by the Redbirds. By the Dragons. When they get it, they're pushing it. They're trying to attack. They don't want to play at the same pace as Illinois State. But once they get those steals, they're definitely going to attack, and they're going to take quick shots if they're there.
Nick Zeisloff called for the foul before Carmichael got there, and Illinois State was on a 7-2 run before that free throw by Franz Mazenet.
And the way you break those runs is by attacking. You attack the basket, you try to get to the free throw line. The answer is not always jacking up quick shots. It's get to the free throw line, force the Redbirds to go deep into their bench and see just how talented their 8th, 9th, and 10th guy really is.
Mazenet hits both, pushing it back to a 3-point lead. Traveling call there is number 24, Zeke Upshaw. 4th turnover for the Redbirds.
You see the constant pressure by the Redbirds. Right now they're in a 1-1. Essentially, it's a 2-2-1 full court press. They'll do a little running jump, and they'll try to trap at half. They'll try to speed the pace up and give the Dragons different looks.
Beautiful pass.
excellent way to attack a press. If you attack a press and then run your offense, the defense has succeeded. They attack the press to score.
Offensive foul called on Jackie Carmichael. How about this pass?
Excellent job. Attack the basket, draw the defense, and reward the big fella. Way to finish strong roughing.
Chris Faust, the 6'2" senior guard out of the Bronx, New York's Rice High School, who they call their instant offense, came in, and as soon as he had the ball in his hands, the Redbirds converged on him. Beautiful bounce pass to the big man. Third straight turnover for the Redbirds. Find themselves now trailing 14-9. A little sloppy in the early going here from Philadelphia, Ron, but you expect that. Both these teams still trying to find their identity, find out exactly what they do with the right personnel.
Illinois State got a gift that possession because that ball went off of their foot.
Checking into the game, Brian Allen, number 2 for the Redbirds, an interesting young man who played football at Minnesota, transferred to Illinois State to play football, and they found out actually a pretty good basketball player.
Good
there
patience.
He is.
Good patience, good pass, that possession.
Allen, the 4'3", 40 runner. I talked to him before the game. He said, man, I miss football, and Illinois State is playing the #1 team in FCS as they've got North Dakota State.
I tell you, Allen seems like he's like the ever-ready bunny.
Yeah.
He never gets tired.
Lee driving, going to the left and using glass.
Good job that time by Lee. As good as a jump shooter as he is, he's not settling. He tried to get closer and almost drew the foul.
Too easy to help, didn't come soon enough for Jackie Carmichael, and give good credit to Keza King, the freshman from Canada, for the entry pass.
Carmichael's a load. You cannot allow him to get the ball that close to the basket. If you do, he's going to score or you're going to foul him.
Talking with Dan Muller at the shoot-around today, the head coach said he has no ego. He's just a joy to have on the squad. Lee picks up his dribble, and he is fouled by Jake Icky, the junior from Independence, Missouri.
Good seal, even better pass. Soft pass over the top, nothing you can do. The weak side help has to come soon. As you see Drexel, they try to recover on the back end, but just a second too late that time by Lee.
16-13, 3-point lead for the Dragons with 12:19 to play here in the first half. Carmichael will come out. Remember, he did not start the game, coach's decision, but he did come in about 90 seconds into it. So it's Treloff back into the game with 2 fouls. And a Beef misses the point-blank layup. Keene got stuck up in the air, and Treloff bails him out. Blocked from behind. That's a good matchup right there with Allen and Faust. Thomas off the mark. Illinois State looks like a completely different team when Carmichael's off the court. 16-13, the Dragons on top of the Redbirds with their big man on the bench.
Pressure on himself, on this team. Let's not assume, fellas, that we're going to have the same kind of year this year that we had last year. We have to put in the work.
Well, Bruiser knows, and he knows because he's a Philly native, and he knows how fast the fans can turn him. And your great defensive effort there by Allen. He comes right back, can't finish it, but that young man can. Tyler Brown's second basket, second dunk of the night.
And I tell you what, Allen's doing an excellent job, regardless of who the point guard is, at just dogging him, picking him up full, wearing him down, trying to make him tired. And you may not get as many steals as you want in the first half, but you want that point guard to have weary legs come the second half. Got him right at half court, attacked the basket, and then I tell you, Brown did an excellent job. He didn't concede the layup. He kept running and got the follow-up slam.
Shooting 1-1.
That's what the kids call having hops, right?
He's got a little bit, I would say. Back in my day, I wasn't close.
Tyler Brown, 6'4", senior out of Owensboro, Kentucky. His second basket. Remember, the first basket of the night was the alley-oop thrown by Keza Keene to Brown.
And Brown really hadn't gotten going offensively yet. He can score buckets, and he can score them in bunches.
Keene picks up his second foul. (16-15), Drexel on top.
No backside help.
No.
Drexel has to send weak side help an awful lot sooner because Carmichael is so strong. All he's doing is walking his man up just a bit. And the guards are doing an excellent job at lobbing that ball over and putting it in his sweet spot so he just has to turn and put it in the basket.
Man, for big Jackie Carmichael, who goes 6'9", he has found that right side low block baseline area to be very friendly. As Fausch comes up for the shot, can't get it to drop. Carmichael pulls off the rebound.
Again, screen for the ball. He refuses it, attacks the basket. See, this action is just great by Iowa State because if they're not getting Carmichael on the post, the guards are looking to attack. But every possession, as they're in the middle of an 8-0 run.
Atlantis, that's beginning next Thursday at 7 Eastern, only on the NBC Sports Network.
I tell you what, I'd love to
get that call, did you?
I was just getting ready to say, I would love to be courtside for that one. Talk about some high major awesome basketball.
No question about it. Not a terrible location either. 1916 back inside the DAC, the Daskalakis Athletic Center on the campus of Drexel University, as Illinois State has surged out in front after trailing for the first 10 minutes of this game. Johnny Hill with the rebound. Illinois State certainly has started to warm up as that shot goes awry. They started the game on a 2-6 stretch, has since 5-7. A beautiful long pass back. Caught him napping as Derek Thomas gets the layup. Allen tries to get it to go. That ball goes in and out. Almost got bailed out. Here come the Dragons looking to retake the lead.
Good job that time by Massenet. Calm everything down. Yep. Let's run a set play and get a good look.
And the bank shot goes for Damian Lee.
Timeout on the floor. This is a 30-second.
But he is an alma mater of Illinois State. He's actually a Bone Scholar with a master's degree in business. And as we mentioned, the last time Illinois State was in the big dance, he was a big hero there in '98, hitting a basket in overtime to give the Redbirds the victory over Tennessee.
I tell you, what better guy to learn under than Kevin Stallings at Vanderbilt. You know, he learned a lot from Kevin Stallings. I'm sure he's adopted a lot of his ways, a lot of his little things that the coaches learn. A lot of that has come on the shoulders of Kevin Stallings.
Long rebound will stay with the Redbirds. Brown comes back and he comes out firing. Good battle underneath for the boards, and they're going to get a travel call.
That's the kind of turnover, though, if you're Bruiser Flint, you don't mind. He has good hands. His second jump is too quick. Drexel has to do a better job, Todd, at sending some help because he's a load down there on the block.
Talked about our stars at the beginning of the telecast. Carmichael's certainly one of them, and he picks up another basket.
And that's the part of his game that he's added. We just saw 4 plays in a row with him going to work on the block. This time he catches it at the elbow, rips through, puts it on the floor, and drives. That's the part of his game that he's added as Thomas knocks down the jump shot that makes him so intriguing to the NBA.
11 points for Jackie Carmichael, the senior from Manhattan, Kansas. Massenet leading it, and good defense coming back as Carmichael does not concede the easy dunk.
Excellent job by Drexel. Off the turnover, missed shot, opportunity, fast break. If the break wasn't there, they would have pulled it out. Watch Massenet, head up. Excellent job with Lee filling the lane, going hard to the basket, go to the free throw line, make your free throws, and try to close, extend this lead that you currently have by 1.
Is that the end that the Pistons and the Wizard Scouts are at?
No, they're at the opposite end. But they got an excellent look, though.
Lee hits the front end. Want to remind you the Dan Patrick Show has a new home. Catch him every weekday morning on the NBC Sports Network from 9 to 12 Eastern. It's the Dan Patrick Show. Weekdays from 9 to 12 Eastern right here on the NBC Sports Network. I think Dan and the Danettes would appreciate the game of Jackie Carmichael.
You think?
No question about it. Might even have him into the man cave one of these days. So Carmichael has to go to the bench, now saddled with 2 fouls, but 11 points. Not a big problem for Dan Muller because he is very deep. As we talked about his squad, he said we can go 10 deep, no problem.
But now Illinois State has to establish some inside continuity now that he's gone so that they can open up things on the perimeter. Big time loss. He scored 11 points in 11 minutes here in the first half. So can Wilkins step up and give him that inside presence? Look for Iki now, number 22 for the Redbirds, to be more aggressive on the offensive end, as well as Brown.
7 minutes to play here in the first half from the DAC. Allen from outside 3, and he hits it.
Automatically, Carmichael goes to the bench. The perimeter guys say, now it's our time to go to work.
So after 8 3-point field goal attempts, 1 is knocked down, and it's by the Redbirds, Brian Allen. Wilkins with the rebound. John Wilkins will have to fill the void with Carmichael now on the bench. Allen says if 1's good, well, 2 would have been better. He can't convert.
Most guys hit 2 in a row, and then the third shot is for a heat check. That time, Allen said, let me see if my second shot, Brown said, let me see if my second shot is a heat check.
Johnny Hill called for the blocking foul, the sophomore out of Glendale Heights, Illinois. Picking up his first. Oof.
At the line for Drexel, number 4,
all even at 24. Now, you talk about the pace. Excuse me, I interrupted you there for a second. As Massanet goes to the line, do you think Drexel is starting to get lulled into running that Illinois State
Well, what
offense?
happens, State picks up full court. And what that does is you want to get the guy off of you, so you rush into the half court. Then you think you have an angle, and you say, let me go a little bit further. And then Bruiser Flint's on the side like, pull it back out, pull it back out. So, yes, they have to make sure that they don't get caught up in Illinois State's music and play the music that the Dragons want to play.
And I guess the problem with that is you look at the Drexel Dragons, they've got a very athletic squad. They can play that.
No question.
But that's not what Bruiser says. This is not how we're going to play Dragon basketball.
No, they'll take opportunity fast breaks, but they don't want to run and gun and shoot every possession with 7 seconds into the shot clock.
Hill off the mark on the 3.
See, right here, this is the opportunity break if they could convert it.
Allen stays back. And the former wide receiver from Minnesota is able to lay it in.
You're watching 2 teams tonight that are very experienced, 2 teams that don't have a lot of young guys. And this is going to be a back-and-forth game. Expect this game to go down to the wire and be determined by 2, 4, 6 points max.
When we spoke with Dan Muller at shoot-around this morning, he said, I will be very surprised if this game is more than a 5-point gap with 4 minutes to play.
Illinois State now changes to a 2-3 zone. Primarily a man-to-man ball club. They don't play an awful lot of zone. They just throw this in for a wrinkle to see how Drexel handles it. And as I'm speaking, Lee knocks it down from the corner.
Damian Lee hits a big 3-pointer, and that'll put Drexel on top by 3. Back underneath, the same formula that works for Carmichael seems to work well enough as Jake Iki from Independence, Missouri is able to put it in.
Illinois State back to their 2-3 zone. Excellent job. Attack the middle, go baseline. Good job that time by the Dragons. If you, against zones, if you can get the ball to the free throw line, you have so many options. The defense has to collapse. If they don't, you're open. That time the defense collapsed and they got a backdoor cut.
Kazembe Abif and a deep 3. Tyler Brown out of Owensboro steps back and knocks it down. He's had quite a game, 2 dunks and a 3.
Brown can score bunches, score in bunches. He can score quickly. He can get you 20 easily. For him, sometimes shot selection is the question, but he can score it.
Feeling it as well from the other end, Abif.
Drexel's having no problem at all with Illinois State's zone. Expect them to get out of it and go back to man.
So Abif coming back. And his man scores, and right off the bat, Bruiser Flint has been talking to the officials about the push-off 2 times down the court by the Redbirds, and he has not gotten the call.
But I tell you, the minute Carmichael went out, everyone else picked up their aggressive offensively. And Iki's the kind of guy that can hit 2 and 3 shots in a row. He plays the power forward position, but he can step out and knock down that three-point jump shot as well.
Oh, and a big collision. And there's a foul away from the ball before that break. Mike Sanzeri, the official of the game, came over and said there was a foul before then. Darte Ruffin called for the charge, and so waved that whole action off, and the ball goes over the Redbirds. All even at 33 with 3:35 to play, and another Illinois State turnover.
Again, Iowa State picking up full. Allen dogging the ball. Let's see if Massanet in the second half starts to feel a little fatigued, maybe cramping up, because that's a pain to deal with someone dogging you full court, 94 feet every possession for 40 minutes.
And another zone here, something that Illinois State does not do very often. This 2-3 there, a strictly man-to-man normally, but they'll mix it up a little bit and give a different look. That one gets the shooter's roll.
I'm really surprised that Illinois State is staying in it as long as they are, because Drexel's had no problem scoring 4 out of the last 5 possessions that they've gone zone.
And with Carmichael on the bench, Wilkins hoists up a 10-footer, unable to drop it. Chris Fauch was able to hit that 3 the last time down for the Dragons to break the tie and put the Drexel squad up by 3.
Again, the middle of the court, right along those letters CAA, is wide open. If they can look to attack there, then turn and look at the baseline, they'll get something good.
Excellent ball movement. Fauch.
You got to find him. You got to get to Fauch. Fauch can light it up. That time I thought that Iki walked out to the corner. Fauch, you have to run at him and make him put the ball on the floor. Illinois State's got to get out of the zone, I think.
Keene with a beautiful fake. Teardrop falls. Keiza Keene, the freshman from Canada. Massanet driving. Jump step, almost the and one as Wilkins came out to help. He'll be called with a foul. Once again, you talked about it. You got to find number 3.
You have to get to him, jam him, make him put it on the floor. That time Iki walked out, hand down, man down. That time he lit him up. And then he come back on the other end, way to attack, get into the paint, try to make something happen. But Illinois State got out of the zone that last possession and went man, and then Massanet took advantage of it and went right to the basket hard.
With 2:05 to play here in the first half from Philadelphia, are you surprised that Dan Muller is keeping Jackie Carmichael on the bench with 2
No,
fouls?
not at all, because he knows, right now you look at it, it's only a 5-point game. Right. You know you're going to need him for the entire second half, and he's far too valuable to pick up maybe an offensive foul, because you know Drexel may try to bait him into a foul and charge, or him to pick up a ticky-tack foul playing defense. Sit him out, go to work with him in the second half.
Massanet, perfect 8 for 8 from the free throw line. It's a 41-35 score as we go under 2 minutes to play here in the first half from University City, Philadelphia. Off the mark, knocked out of bounds. Last touch by Jordan Treloff.
Bruiser Flint is so intense. You see him, he looks like he's losing his mind, but he's under control. He just looks like that. He doesn't show well, but when you sit down and talk to him, you see him in practice, the guys absolutely love him, and they play so hard for him.
5 straight made field goals by the Drexel Dragons. I'll tell you what, the best game with the best coaches' names has got to be when Drexel faces off with Virginia Commonwealth. You got Bruiser going up against Shaka. Fauch.
He's feeling it.
Rattles in and out, and Tyler Brown goes up high to secure the rebound. Brown will fire a 3. Massanet is bumped by the freshman Keene.
You know, Todd, I thought that shot by Brown was a little too quick. Illinois State wants to play at that pace, but sometimes on the road, you can't always play the exact same way that you want to play at home. And those are the kind of things that coach is going to work out during halftime. Guys, we want to play quickly. We want them to play at our pace, but let's not be reckless.
Keiza Keene, the freshman from Ajax, Ontario, picks up his 3rd foul. And that'll send Massanet once again to the line, a perfect 9 for 9.
Massanet finds a way. Nothing he does jumps out at you. It doesn't look fancy. He just runs the team, and he falls into points. He gets his points without looking to be a primary scorer.
10 for 10. So a 10-2 run by the Dragons as we are approaching 1:09 to play here in the first half. Biggest lead of the game for Drexel. Off the hands on the curl as Tyler Brown was coming around, and a great save there by Jake Eakey. Wilkins thought about the three, stepped in, beautiful pass down low, and Eakey stayed home on the blocks.
Good job by Wilkins. That's one move I'm surprised more guys don't use, the head fake. You knew he wasn't going to take it, but you went for it anyway. Then he dropped it, Eakey off to a soft pass on the post. Good job that time by Illinois State.
30 seconds to play in the first half. 6-point lead for the Dragons, and Wilkins comes out, and it's a foul away from the ball.
Drexel, number 44, Darryl McCoy, his third.
And McCoy picks up his third foul with 28 seconds to play in the first half, so that will certainly affect Drexel in the second half when Carmichael comes in, saddled with 2.
And that's what drives you crazy as a coach.
Yeah.
You don't want to pick up that kind of foul with 28 seconds left, and you know McCoy's going to have to do a lion's share of guarding Carmichael in the second half.
So the shot clock is off. Illinois State, normally an up-tempo team, looks to be content to play for the final shot of this first half from Philadelphia. 43-37, Drexel has the lead. Brown hoisting it up, and he thought the count was different as the student section here did their job. They had him counting down, and he put up about a 35-footer.
I tell you, Illinois State may have gotten away with one. I thought Carmichael set a hard foul that time for Brown to come off of that screen. The officials didn't call it, but it was awful close.
So that'll bring it to the half as Drexel, the Dragons, close the half on a 10-4.
Couldn't control them. Not that big of a deal. They're only down 6. Second half, getting ready to start.
Jackie Carmichael now with 1 foul. So the senior from Manhattan, Kansas, who has accounted for 11 points in 9 minutes, comes in. But Darryl McCoy, who guarded him for much of those 9 minutes, has 3 fouls. Back to the stingy man-to-man defense go the Redbirds, and there he is. Carmichael immediately making his presence felt, and Ruffin just concedes the dunk.
For someone his size, Carmichael has great feet. He has great speed. You saw right there, he shot the passing lane and got a steal. You usually don't see bigs his size, 6'9", 250, with that kind of motor and that kind of quickness.
I think right about now the folks in Manhattan, Kansas and Kansas State are thinking, why is he playing for us again?
A lot of people are wondering that. But what happens is, you know, sometimes, you know, kids develop at different points in their life. You know, coming out of high school probably was borderline, big time. He got in the gym, worked on his skills, and has blossomed.
Off the mark that time as he got low in the paint, and a good job of defending it was Darte Ruffin. So a 4-point lead for the Dragons as Illinois State continues to bring that very tight man-to-man. They'll shift into a 2-3 occasionally, as Dan Muller says, something we don't do very often, but we'll do it to mix it up and change the pace. Mazinet has it stripped away. Mazinet has gotten all his points from the free throw line in the first half, something that Drexel, I'm sure, is probably going to want to change. And right to the line is Johnny Hill, and 1.
Good 2 possessions that time by Hill. He gets the steal on Mazinet, and then he gets the bucket at the other end. But watch here, good defense this time by Illinois State. They're working in the post. He sees this opportunity to go for the steal, shoots the passing lane, but has the coordination wherewithal to put the ball on the floor a few times to get to where he needs to get to.
Hill hits the and 1, so now it is a 1-point game. It was a 6-point lead at the half for the Dragons over the Redbirds. 18:24 to play here in the ball game. Mazinet is bumped this time. Johnny Hill playing too much defense.
But see, Coach Muller doesn't care about that. If you notice in the first half, Allen was dogging Mazinet the whole first half.
Right.
Now they switched it up, put Hill on him a little bit, and don't be surprised if Allen comes back to him. They just want to try to wear Massanet down, try to, you know, just get him a little fatigued to try to throw off this Drexel Dragon half-court set in their offense.
Massanet out top with a fresh shot clock, and Abiff will fire this one up and hit. They are getting scoring from so many different spots tonight for Bruiser Flint, the head coach. Spreading the wealth, and they push the lead back to 3 with 18 minutes to play in the game. No surprise, they go right back inside to Carmichael, and a soft touch, just a little too soft off the front of the rim.
He caught it where he wanted it, but that time, Todd, I thought he faded on the jump shot as opposed to going straight up or even attacking the basket.
Allen was giving on the right-hand side. It looked like he was expecting some help there.
I tell you what, though, Massanet's doing an excellent job at dealing with this pressure because he's attacking. He's not just going left and right as Hill drives all the way to the basket. He's looking to attack the basket as opposed to just run his offense.
Johnny Hill answers back with the runner. This is a good matchup here. Hill on Massanet. And they are going to call this one on number 1, Tyler Brown, who had his back to the play, really kind of got pushed into it.
He certainly did. Watch Massanet this time. Looking to run the offense. Allen opens up just a bit, and he attacks him and takes him right to the basket. This is why he's so valuable, because not only can he run the ball club, but he's a threat to score the ball as well. Right there you see two guys colliding. All three of them are trying to figure out who the foul should be on as Lee knocks down a deep three. I take it, Todd, he's shaking off that injury from the first half.
Looked like he hit hard on that right shoulder when there was no play or no foul called against his man, and he comes back and answers with a 3 to open up the second half. Brown off the front of the rim, but Ickey's there to follow it. 50-46, 16-41 to play in the ball game.
Again, attack to score. He's tough. He's tough.
It looks like Brian Allen feels like he's going to get help, and he continues to open up on that right-hand side, and Massanet said, I'll take it all night long.
Opening up just a little bit too much.
Oh. And Brian Allen hits a 3, and he'll get the and 1 as Damian Lee came out and bumped him.
Allen and Brown are as fields of guards as you'll see. But right there, Allen opens up. Massanet takes advantage. 2 hard dribbles, gets to the elbow. And Allen says, anything you can do, son, I can do better. 2 lefties going at it.
Brian Allen may be reassessing the fact that Massanet is a lefty, forcing him right. Well, he certainly can go right. He's shown that.
But you can't open up.
Right.
You have to shade him that way. He's totally turning his body, giving him a straight line drive to the basket. And he's too good just to treat him like a kid that can't play.
Allen completes the 4-point play, so it's back to a 2-point lead for Drexel. And here's the matchup we saw early in the game. The quick Allen on Massanet just pestering him.
Again.
Massanet doesn't get it to roll, but Ruffin puts it back.
But you couldn't have asked for a better shot. Massanet is controlling the entire tempo of the second half, I think.
Kazakine just checked back in. He's saddled with 3 fouls, but on the runner, he's able to convert. So the Redbirds keeping pace with the Dragons as we go under 16 minutes to play. Lee wants it in the corner. Zeislop.
You got it.
And the Redbirds are starting to heat up. They have taken the lead here for the first time in the second half, 55-54.
Drexel Dragons have to get back in transition because Illinois State wants to play at this pace. They'll shoot quickly. They'll take gambles on defense. They want to play, as Dan Muller told us today in practice, as quickly as physically possible.
Shot clock under 10. Lee with a tough shot. John Wilkins at 6'9" came over to meet him in a beautiful shot by Damian Lee, the 7th lead change of the game. Drexel didn't get all of that one. And Drexel, give him credit, missing the short range down there, hustles back to get the rebound. Reward the big man when he runs the court.
He's picking them up, putting them down. This pace, Todd, is incredible. These guys are changing ends. You know, both coaches are probably trying to wait until the 12-minute mark for a timeout, but they may have to take one just to get some water.
And this is early season stuff, and they are completely gassed. Now, I know the great John Thompson coach, he doesn't care about how gassed you are. You run, young man.
You run or you come out.
Over and back infraction, so the ball will go over to Illinois State. They have a 1-point lead.
And watch these baskets in transition. You've got to get back and get a hand up because Illinois State will shoot quickly. But Drexel, they're being just as aggressive on the other end. Fast-paced game, a lot of excitement. If you're a fan, don't go get anything to drink. Buckle up. But just globally and the people that he touched and that were familiar with the job and the work that he'd done over his career.
Able to call young Doug Collins action when he was a Redbird back at Illinois State, and then their paths crossed again at the Chicago Bulls. And our thoughts and prayers out to the Durham family on their loss.
Great call that time by Dan Muller. He went to an isolation for Brown out of the timeout.
Right.
Wanted to get him going. They needed a bucket. And he didn't score the basket, but they're at the free throw line. They ran him through to the left side of the court, cleared out everyone. Everyone went to the other side and let him go. Great call, I think.
We had an opportunity in our drive over here to the arena tonight to talk about some great coaches. Of course, your father being one of my favorites, but, you know, Larry Brown and some of these coaches, Jack Ramsey, who've been a long time. I will say this, the young coaching crop that is coming up through the college ranks, very impressive. I mean, you talk about Bruiser Flint, but Dan Muller in his first term as a head coach is really showing me something at 37. He seems to be, the way he handles his kids, he's calm but firm. You know, he has to sit out Jackie Carmichael, doesn't let him start for some infraction possibly, it was coach's decision, but he's kind of setting the tone for his program.
Well, what's happened is they've had great tutelage. You know, they've had tremendous tutors. You know, he spent 12 years under Kevin Stallings, one of the best coaches in the country at Vanderbilt. You know, he learned it the right way. A guy like Bruiser Flint working under Calipari. You know, a lot of young, sharp coaches. You know, John Thompson learning, you know, from my dad, Hall of Famer, learning from Pete Carell. A lot of guys, they didn't just get jobs, they've earned it.
Speaking of earning it, Chris Fausch earning all three of those as the 6'2" guard from Bronx's Rice High School hits again his 9th point of the night. Carmichael showing his range, unable to drop it, and Ruffin with the rebound. So it's a 1-point gain as we approach 13 minutes to play, and a beautiful block as Carmichael comes back.
Drexel has to get back quicker, though. Missed baskets, turnovers. Illinois State is going to push the ball for 40 minutes.
I was just about to say, Johnny Hill should back this one out. He doesn't have the numbers, and he's bailed out as the foul and block is called on Damian Lee.
What happens is Illinois State is trying to establish what their way is. You have a new coach. You have a new system. You have new things. You have a new identity that you're trying to impart on your program. So he's going to let some things go. As the year progresses, he'll tighten some things up, pull some things back. But he told us in practice, we want to run. We want to play as fast as we possibly can, but we want to control the ball.
Substitutions being made now as Brian Allen comes in alongside John Wilkins. Brown and Ike will step off the court for Dan Muller. And the DAC crew getting to the head of Johnny Miller. You know, the coaches in the CAA talk about coming here to Drexel and say, I've heard people say it's a scary place. It's not big. A lot of people say, oh, this is a great practice facility. Where's the arena? This is it. 2,532 crammed into here. It gets warm, it gets loud, and the fans, I mean, they're right on top of your bench.
And if you're Bruiser Flint, you'll have it no other way. This place is an absolute nut house tonight.
Ruffin with another block. Drexel looking for their first win of the season, coming off an overtime loss at Kent State. This would be a big win as Illinois State looking to go 2-0 as they come off a big victory at home against UC Santa Barbara, 100-72.
You look at these two teams. Offensively, you have a contrasting style. The Dragons, perimeter-oriented. Illinois State, they want to go inside with their bigs. But Drexel's guards play big at times. As you see, getting the big-time rebound. Even though they're perimeter-oriented, that's Drexel, they attack, they get points in the paint because they get closer to the basket. They drive.
Great hustle by Derek Thomas to keep that alive. Faust lines up a three off the mark. Hill with the rebound.
Too close.
Carmichael down in his sweet spot, puts it up, can't get it to drop.
That's all right, though. That's all right. That's good action. He caught the ball on the block. That could have been a foul called.
Timeout on the floor.
It's a one-point game with 11:35 to play. We'll have much more when we return to the deck.
He should have been into the NCAA tournament. Ooh. Good slip that time by Carmichael.
Excellent entry pass by Tyler Brown finds Carmichael. He picks up point number 15. So back in front go the Redbirds. And they're going to get Tyler Brown away from the ball. What's impressed you about either one of these teams or what you've seen tonight inside the DAC?
Well, we knew about Carmichael. As you see the slip right here, and he gets the easy dunk. But I really have to say that Damian Lee has just, for Drexel, has just really impressed me with his ability to score and be efficient with his scoring for someone that's only a sophomore. You know, he's 6'6", he can slash, he can shoot the jumper, he uses screens well. He rushes, I mean, he hurries, but he never seems to be in a rush, you know, and that's a hard balance to find as a scorer, particularly a young scorer.
Get a good look at Lee on the bench, the 6'6" sophomore from Baltimore, Maryland.
When you look at the offensive success that Carmichael's had tonight, it's because he has good foot dexterity. You know, McCoy and Ruffin, their foot movement is not good enough to keep up with him. So you see him getting easy layups in the post. You see him working and getting around. Conversely, McCoy and Ruffin are leaning on him, preventing him from getting the boards. They can't stop him offensively, but they're not letting him rebound.
Derek Thomas called for the offensive foul, the senior from New York City, pushing off, and it's a Illinois State ball at the turnover. 60-59, 11:05 to play, and that was Thomas's first foul of the game.
Again, another clear out for Brown. Each time they've run a clear out for Brown, something positive has come up. He's getting to the free throw line. He's putting pressure on guys. He's getting a good look. Great calls by Coach Muller.
Derek Thomas picking up his second foul, so 2 fouls in 10 seconds, really changing the momentum and slowing down the pace. With 10:55 to go, Tyler Brown, the senior from Owensboro, Kentucky, steps to the line. Next Thursday, the NBC Sports Network takes you to Paradise for the elite preseason college basketball tournament. Don't miss Duke, Louisville, and other national powerhouses in the battle for Atlantis. It begins next Thursday at 7 Eastern on the NBC Sports Network. And I will reiterate again to our management that Ron and I are both available for that assignment to go to the Bahamas.
We are available and bags are packed. I thought you got a call already.
I did not get a call.
Did you get a call at halftime?
No.
Oh, okay.
Did not get the call. I got the phone's on mute, so we'll turn it on immediately afterwards. But that'll be a great tournament. Not only the talent level on the court, but the whole setting. When you get those kind of teams together early season, it's just so exciting.
But you're getting postseason play in the first half of the season. See, right now, Drexel, they're not using their bigs to score. They're just out there to set screens, get putbacks, and get the perimeter guys open.
Mazinet doing it on his own, and he draws the foul.
But as you saw just then, their guards do a good job at getting points in the paint. Their bigs aren't scoring in the paint, but their guards are by getting to the rack or getting to the free throw line.
So Keene's points, Mazinet's points, fouled by Keene, all came from the foul line in the first half. He has 14 points on the night, but 10 for 10 from the line.
Checking back in the game for the Redbirds, number 22, John Hickey. for the Dragons, number 1, Giuseppe Abiv.
Substitutions coming from both squads with 10:22 to play. It's a 2-point lead for Illinois State. Mazanet 12 for 12 from the line. It's a 1-point game. Well, head coach Dan Mueller told us at shoot-around this morning that he would be very surprised it was more than a 5-point lead for either squad with 4 minutes to play, and it's looking like he knows what he's talking about. Excellent defense once again. Stepping on the line was Brian Allen, so the ball will go back over to the Dragons.
Watch this. Caught the ball. Good job at receiving ball. That's too close. He spun, but just couldn't get to the other side. And what's happening, you see now his legs are a little bit weary. McCoy, Ruffin, they've been leaning on him, banging him. You know, that energy that you had in the first half, when you have those guys that are that big banging on you for 40 minutes, it wears on you.
That one rattles in and out. Fouts keeps it alive.
I tell you, Abiff got that offensive rebound for the Dragons just by crashing the boards, bumping into Carmichael.
11th lead change of the game. And this time they're going to get McCoy.
Good job that time, I thought, by Carmichael and not settling for a jump shot. He tried to get closer to the basket, which drew the foul. Right here, watch Abiff. He comes in, bangs into Carmichael just a bit. Drexel comes up with the loose ball.
And that is the 4th foul on Daryl McCoy. Here's where it was, a little too much action.
Goes for the up and under. McCoy's like, what did I do? I tell you what you did. That 290 just ran into him.
Two big boys going at it with 9:36 to play. It's a 1-point lead for the Dragons as Carmichael steps to the line. Rattles out on the 1-and-1. Once again, it's Allen hassling Mazanet.
Brown doing a good job at the 9 Fouch. Now Drexel has to reset and try another play. Illinois State, that possession, did a good job at taking Drexel out of their half-court set.
Oof. Ball comes free, turnover. Here comes Illinois State. Allen can't answer.
Good pass, good push.
It's Abiff on the end of a beautiful bounce pass, and it's a 3-point Dragon lead. Up and under. Abiff comes out with it. Faust thought about the 3, kicked it back out. Mazanet will reset. The DAC crew coming alive. Mazanet will draw the foul as Jackie Carmichael had to take it right to him.
Watch this, good in and out that time by Thomas. Pushes it hard, nice bounce pass to Abiff. Abiff got that basket because he sprinted the floor hard.
So Mazanet goes back to the line, somewhere he has completely set up camp tonight. And continues to be perfect.
One of the reasons Mazanet seems to be getting to the basket with reckless abandon is because Illinois State's perimeter, they have to stay wide on their shooters, on Drexel's shooters. They can't slough off and give help. So by the time Mazanet turns the corner on his man, he's already at the basket because the perimeter guys, you know, for Drexel can knock down Fouch. He can knock down those perimeter jump shots. Lee, they can knock down that shot from the perimeter.
And Mazanet misses his first free throw of the night. Drexel in the midst of a 7-0 run as we go under 8 minutes to play in the ball game. Oh my goodness. Tyler Brown got up in the air hung there for a while, and he's bailed out with a foul as Massanet came over to help out.
Good job that time. Good rotation by Drexel, but they were inside that circle. Right here, you see, his foot is inside the circle, so all day long, the weak side man, that's going to be a block.
Talent coming back in ability. Preseason favorites to win the CAA. Players like Franz Mazanet, the CAA preseason player of the year. Right now they've got their hands full with a very tough Redbird squad from Illinois State. With Doug Collins, the head coach of the 76ers, an alum in the stands watching. We've got ourselves a 66-62 Drexel lead with 7:50 to play in the ball game.
With 7 minutes, 50 seconds to go in this game, look for both coaches now to start defensively and offensively going with their bread and butter plays. They're not going to drift. They're not going to experiment. You know, they're going to try to stick with whatever packages they have that they think they're best at to try to close out this game.
3-point game. Doug Collins, 20, Illinois State.
This time, Illinois State switched to the zone full court press. They got out of the man-to-man full court, go zone, see if they can force a turnover or use time. Again, now they're in the zone half court, the 2-3. Drexel had no problem with this in the first half. Actually did a great job against it.
Shot clock at 5. Long rebound comes the way of the freshman Keza King. Brown thought about it. And his pass knocked away. Great defense by Franz Mazanet. Under 7 to play.
Thomas's feet are set for the 3. You might as well ring it up. That time, excellent penetration by Massanet. Put the ball right where Thomas needed it, nailed it.
Travel on the freshman. Dragons in the midst of a 10-1 run as they have opened up a 6-point lead with 6:26 to play in the ball game.
Important possession right now. Defensively, I think, for Illinois State. Right now they're down 6. They need a stop. They don't want them to. They don't want to give up a 3 and 6 go to 9 or get a 2 and they go to 8. Then the crowd gets even louder. Then when they come down on offense, then their arms get a little tight. Short shots fall a little short. They want to get a stop right here.
Double team comes, but a little late. Carmichael was trying to get Keene to come up. Mazanet, open lane, kicks it out. Look who's waiting.
Mr. Efficient, Damian Lee. Excellent job, though, in patience by Drexel. They caused the switch, they threw it back to Massanet, and he penetrated and kicked it to Lee.
Oof, well, round. Tyler Brown answers with a deep 3.
Ice water in his veins. That time, Bruiser Flint upset at Lee for helping. You've got to stay out.
Drexel Dragons and Bruiser Flint, he should be the all-time winningest coach here at Drexel by the season's end. But right now, he's more concerned about getting this victory as he has a very precarious 5-point lead with 5:36 to play in the game. Thomas kicks it out to Lee on a dangerous pass, and they'll put it back in the hands of Franz Mazanet. Great job by Carmichael coming back to help. Brian Allen will check back in, and he's been the biggest disruptor for Drexel's offense as he comes in and probably assigned to Franz Mazanet and to hassle him. well off the mark and off the hands of Ruffin over to Illinois State. So 5:16 to play. We've got ourselves a 5-point game. If you're in the corner of Dan Moeller and Illinois State, what are you telling your kids?
Nothing's changing right now. The only thing you want to make sure you do is you get a solid look at the basket. You don't have to rush. You don't have to shoot too quickly. Look to go inside to Carmichael as much as you can.
And get an and one if you can.
Or get an and one if you're Hill.
Johnny Hill driving the baseline. He gets the bucket and the harm. He'll go to the line.
But this is good action right here. You know, he drove hard to the basket, didn't settle for the jump shot, and he, again, McCoy picks up another nickel-dimer, and he's done. That's his 5th foul.
So Daryl McCoy, the 6'9" senior from Hartford, Connecticut, has fouled out of the game, and that's a big body that's giving problems to Jackie Carmichael throughout the night. They'll have to lean a lot heavier now on Abiff and Thomas and the crew, including Ruffin. .506 to play in the ball game.
Checking the game for Drexel, number 1.
That'll put Johnny Hill at the line.
What's tough about this foul, as well as them not having McCoy's big body out there, is you're giving Illinois State an opportunity to put points on the board with the clock stop. The clock right now becomes as big an opponent as the person you're playing against. You have to manage time, you have to manage the score. And that's where a heady point guard comes into play.
So Carmichael will come out. They'll sub him for John Wilkins, who'll probably get a quick breather, and then they'll bring him back in as we almost are at 5 minutes. And I keep referring back to the conversation we had with head coach Dan Moeller about if this game's more than 4 or 5 points with 4 or 5 minutes to go, I'll be very surprised. Well, he's Nostradamus because right now it's 71-69.
Well, you've got 2 experienced teams with good guard play and solid post play. These teams are very well matched.
Mazinet triggering the offense as he drives. He is fouled. Number 22, Jake Icky, the junior from Independence, Missouri, called for the foul.
Mazinet is doing an excellent job coming down the final stretch at just dictating everything that Drexel does. He goes when he wants to go. He pulls it back out when he wants to pull it out. He's penetrating, getting shots for the right people.
18 points on the night. 14 of 15 from the line. I want to remind you, Tuesday night at 8 Eastern, college basketball continues on the NBC Sports Network with a matchup between Harvard and St. Joe's. And Wednesday night, the Red Hawks of Miami of Ohio take on William and Mary, the Tribe. It's college basketball on the NBC Sports Network. 3-point ball game as we approach 4.5 minutes to play. Brown throws it up. He was looking for the lob and came off the rim. John Wilkins had no shot.
No, risky play for this point in the game. Brown would have been better off trying to shoot the ball than throw a lob to Wilkins.
His 3rd.
So the foul on Wilkins, his 3rd, team 8th, and that'll send Ruffin to the line at the other end.
For both teams, free throw shooting is vital right now. You know, whichever team can convert down the stretch. See, it's not always how many points you score, but when you score them, when you're able to score them. And free throws are going to be very key right now.
So Ruffin hits the front end of a 1-and-1, pushes the lead out to 4 points now. Misses the second. So Illinois State looking to come away with a 2 or a 3 if they can get it. No time to panic it just yet. They can score quickly. Brown again drops it in low, and it's Icky. Jake Icky, 6'7" junior from Independence.
Again, both teams are in the 1-and-1. No senseless fouls. Let's see which team can execute coming down the stretch.
So after the John Icky basket, it's a 73-71, and Illinois State has the turnover. Allen's going to slow it down.
Nice move.
Brown will fire it up. Last touch by Icky. We've got ourselves a 2-point ball game with 3:39 to play here at the DAC. Illinois State looking to stay perfect in front of one of their greatest alma maters. Doug Collins in the house. We'll be back to Philly after this. When he was with San Antonio, when they won their 2 championships, just seemed to fill the void that they needed.
You know why? Because he stayed within himself. He didn't try to be what he wasn't, and he knew what he was, and he worked hard at being and doing what he was.
Back on the court, 73-71. Drexel has the lead over Illinois State. They are now applying the Redbirds a full court press. Drexel having no problems breaking it. A little confusion on the defense. They drop back into the 2-3.
Change of pace, trying to keep Drexel back on their heels a little bit. The chess match has begun.
Ruffin keeps it alive.
It's not how many points you score. It's not how many rebounds you get. It's when you get them.
Fresh shot clock, more importantly, as we're under 3 minutes to play. Thomas having problems with the ball, kicks it out, Massanet wide open. Oh, that rims in and out, but it will stay once again with Drexel.
But Illinois State's got to get on the offensive boards. Long jump shot that time by Drexel, and then the ball comes right under the basket. Those bigs in there have to clean that up.
John Eakey checking back into the game for head coach Dan Muller.
Again, look for another pick and roll. There you go. Massanet's tough. He's so tough with the pick and roll.
Dragons being very patient that time. Great defensive help as Jackie Carmichael came over.
Great defense by Carmichael. Comes over, gets the block, and more importantly, Illinois State secured the ball.
Well, the Dragons got 3 cracks at it. Couldn't come away with any points. So now just a 2-point lead. Illinois State gets their opportunity. Go right to their big man. Carmichael leads up and under.
Good patience that time. I thought he was going to settle for the jump shot, and he came with an up and under. Great patience, and he showed you, he gave you 2 counters. Went hard one way, came back, and then ended with an up and under.
17 points for Carmichael. Remember, he had 11 at the half, and Bruiser Flitt wants a timeout to talk about this.
This game is going to come down to the wire. It definitely is.
On the defensive end, Carmichael making his presence felt, and then the Redbirds know where their bread and butter is. Go to the big man, up and under. We're all even with 1:40 to play. Here in Philadelphia. 1:40 to play. Todd Harris alongside Ron Thompson in a good one. Missouri Valley Conference and Illinois State paying a visit to the Drexel Dragons out of the CAA.
For Drexel, look for Massanet to control things on the offensive end. For Illinois State, it's got to go inside to the big fella.
No question about it. So here we go. Massanet triggering the offense for the Dragons. Shot clock now under 14 seconds. Working off the pick and roll, drives the lane, kicks it back out. Mr. Offense Foch cannot get it to fall. And the officials are going to talk about it. Good crew tonight with Mike Sanzeri, Dan Chrisman, and Zelton Steed, who had the best view, came in and said last touch by the Dragons.
Those guys are working hard, helping each other out. They're hot, just as hot as we are in here. They're working. Great job tonight. Good assist by Steed. Got to give it to him. Find a way. Stay patient. There you go.
Ruffin on the defense. Does a great job. Eakey almost able to keep it alive, but it goes back to the Dragons. Under a minute to play now. We're still all even.
And they fall back into the zone.
You like the zone, or do you think they should go to the man-to-man?
Actually, I thought it was a good change of pace. They weren't successful in it in the first half, but the second half, Drexel hadn't scored as easily as they did in the first. Good call. They've stuck with what's worked.
Massanet comes off the screen. Beautiful bounce pass.
job that time, I thought, by Thomas. He waited for Massanet to commit, and he kept working without the ball. Excellent job.
Thomas works the baseline, and as the defense of Illinois State had to respect the penetration of Massanet, he finds himself open. How about the defense on the other end?
Good job. Made him work really hard. Maybe got fouled, maybe didn't. The officials didn't call it, but you come down the other again. Massanet with the look-away bounce pass to Thomas streaking back door. That's called moving without the ball. Even though they were in a zone, Massanet attacked the zone off the dribble, and then Thomas attacked the basket by cutting into the open space. Right now, everything's, you've got to pay attention in these huddles. Right now, Bruiser is giving an offensive as well as a defensive play in case they can't get a timeout in a timely fashion. And the same thing's going on with Illinois State. They're giving an offensive call as well as a defensive call. All
right, just to reset things, the possession arrow goes the way of Illinois State. Drexel has 3 timeouts. Illinois State has 2 timeouts. Inside the DAC here in Philadelphia, it's a good one. Missouri Valley Conference and the Redbirds, and the Drexel Dragons out of the CAA. Well, on the night, Massanet, who started out very quietly in the first 10 minutes of the game, in fact, he got all 10 of his first half points from the free throw line. He's got 18 points, 7 assists, 14 of 16 from the free throw line. If you're the Redbirds, who do you get the ball to?
Oh, you got to go inside to Carmichael. If Carmichael's not there, look for Brown or Allen on the jump shot.
Brown on the curl, comes across, off the mark, and Carmichael was cutting towards the middle of the key. He was out of position. And the foul finally comes on John Eakey, number 22, as they send Derek Thomas to the line for the 1-and-1.
And Bruiser Flint looked at Massanet like, you need to go get the ball.
Massanet on the night, 14 of 16 from the free throw line. So I'm thinking Bruiser saying, just get the ball to number 4 and everyone else clear out.
Bruiser didn't want to hear, don't tell me he dribbled, don't tell me he ran away from me. Go get the ball. These 2 free throws are key.
This is the first trip to the line for Thomas. He's got 11 points as the DAC goes quiet. Off the mark on the 1-and-1.
There's time. Iowa State opted not to go for a time. Oh, they called the time.
There you go.
Okay.
So Hill gets it across the timeline with 7.5 seconds to play. Dan Muller's calling for a full timeout. All right, let's go into the huddle first of the Drexel Dragons. What's your message if you're Bruiser Flint?
You're saying you have to put solid pressure on the ball. Don't allow your guys to turn the corner. Make them make a play. Defensively, he wants the post to deny as much as you can Carmichael on the inside, because they have to know that that's the first option. If you have your druthers, you want them to take a long shot without them turning the corner.
All right, let's go into the huddle of Illinois State. You talk about getting it right into Carmichael. Does Dan Muller in his young career roll the dice and say, you know what, let's take a 3 and win this thing?
No, you don't. You go with your bread and butter. Your first look is on the inside. If that's not there, you've got Brown, you've got Allen, you've got more than capable perimeter players that can score, guys that can hit shots. But the first look, I think you go for your highest percentage shot. If the high percentage shot, or you get a good look on the perimeter, happens to be a 3, you take it. But that's not something you go into these last 7 seconds looking for.
The possession arrow stays with Illinois State. 7.5 seconds to play.
Also, if you're Illinois State, you don't want to wait for the last shot. You want to go as quickly as possible so that in case you miss, you have a chance for the offensive rebound.
There's the timeout situation. Drexel with 3, Illinois State with 1. Carmichael, 17 points on the night, 5 of 7 from the free throw line, if in fact he does get the ball, gets a shot off, gets fouled, or even an and 1. Officials have to tell Bruiser, you're not part of the team on the court. You got to get off the court. Bruiser's already out there half mid-court. He's going to run the play. Here we go. John Eakey keys it into Hill. Hill finds Carmichael. Carmichael drives the lane. The layup soft. Foul is called. Not the most conventional way to get Carmichael the ball, but the big man put it on the ground and drove it.
Well, he took advantage of his ability to put the ball on the floor. You know, as we said in the first half, he has good foot dexterity. He has the ability to put the ball on the floor You know, Ruffin thought he was backing out of the way, and the official said, I'm going to give it to you anyway.
5 of 7 from the line, make it 6 of 8.
And Bruiser's looking at the officials. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
Well, let's look at that one more time if we can. It looks like he's gotten a step, but when he goes up to take the shot, it looks like he's lost control of the ball.
It looked like he lost control, and it looked like he pushed off with his offhand. As you see, I think that has to be a no call. That's got to be a no call.
Especially
right
the DAC.
If you ask the Drexel fans, they're saying it wasn't a foul. If you're asking Illinois State, he clobbered him. Right here, takes advantage of his ability to put the ball on the floor. I like this call, as a matter of fact. And right there, this point, that's a no call. That's a no call. You let that one go, I think.
Damian Lee came away with a rebound, but it was for naught as the foul was called. And so Jackie Carmichael, 6 of 8 on the night from the line, will have 1 to tie this thing up with 2 seconds to play. If he makes it, what do you do? If he misses it, what do you do?
2 seconds left. If you make it, you know, don't call timeout, just try to go.
And he hits it.
Here you go.
So 2 seconds. Bruiser's going to make some substitutions here, get some three-point folks in the game. You know Fausch has got to be near the ball, as well as Lee.
Illinois State, keep everyone in front of you. Don't let anyone get behind you. Make them take as deep a shot as possible.
Ruffin will trigger the inbound. Intercepted by Carmichael. Fausch lets it go. It'll be well short. How do you feel about overtime?
Oh, let's buckle up and let's see what we got. And we said this, you've got 2 experienced teams. As we head into overtime, these final 5 minutes, you're seeing right now as a coach which one of your guys have paid attention to late game situations that you go over in practice. You practice for these situations, you prepare for these situations. Now it's time to see which one of your guys in this early season have been paying attention.
And the head coach of the Drexel Dragons, Bruiser Flint, telling his fellows, guys, 1 overtime, I understand, but 2 overtimes in a row, trying to get me to get my 200th win. Turnover coming the way as Tyler Brown got in the lane and shuffled his feet. Bruiser Flint would love to get number 200 tonight. Remember, first game of the year, they lose to Kent State in overtime, 66-62. Allen, if anyone, has been the most effective on Massanet. Fausch, their three-point assassin, also on the floor. Off the glass.
Good hard penetration. Fausch gives them a pump fake, drops hard. The weak side help wasn't there. Strong finish. They take this early lead in the overtime.
13 points for Chris Fausch, the senior from the Bronx, New York. Five minutes of overtime here at the DAC in Philadelphia. A foul called. And they're going to get number 32, Derek Thomas, the man who gave the lead with 30 seconds left in the game.
Look at Fausch. Nice little head fake, attacks hard, and is able to finish on the other end. Anytime you're guarding a shoot, if you're a shooter, having a head fake in your repertoire is always a huge plus because they have to respect it.
Third foul on Derek Thomas, and that'll send Brown to the line.
Again, right now, 3 minutes, 59 seconds here in overtime. It's a game of inches. You know, you can't give too much offensively. You can't give too much defensively. Both ways, you have to be strong with the ball when you're on offense. Defensively, you have to understand the scouting report and player tendencies.
And that one's hard. And the DAC crew comes alive. Tyler Brown hits the second one, so it's a 1-point game with 3:55 to play in overtime. Massanet looking for the screen. This is how they trigger their offense. Wilkins comes over on the switch. A biff. Off the mark. Carmichael with a rebound, and he goes down holding his ankle. Trying to get rid of it before.
Yeah, he came down and his legs buckled. I thought it was his knee, but he's grabbing his ankle. Tells the ref he's okay. You see, it goes up strong, and he drops just a little. His ankle looked like it rolled just a bit. And a lot of that, we're in overtime. It's fatigue. You know, you got big guys banging on you. You know, your body gives out. They're going to get him on the side, give him something to drink, tighten the shoe up, and get him back in there.
Left ankle for Jackie Carmichael, so he comes out of the game.
Ruffin is cramping.
And Ruffin now down on the baseline.
Yep.
Grabbing his right calf.
With the heat in this arena, with as hard as both teams have played, it's bound to happen. Carmichael now has gone to the back. He's left the bench. He's gone to the back. Ruffin's on the floor. He's cramping.
Well, you've been in this situation before, not only playing with your father, but on coaching staffs. And early in the season, you kind of expect this stuff. You know, the kids aren't in prime shape yet. They're still getting their game legs underneath them, despite all the laps you've made them run the lines.
Well, what happens is this time of year, your nerves, your adrenaline is flowing just a little bit harder because you're eager to get the season started. Coach has been in your ear, you know, all season. You're tired of practicing against your teammates, and you know, your first few games, you're trying to get the jitters out and try to get the cadence of the game, or the cadence that your coach wants the game to be played at established. And you know, your engine revs a little high sometimes. You got to eat properly. You got to get the proper rest.
3:28 to play in overtime. It's a 1-point Drexel Dragon lead over Illinois State Redbirds. Everything seems to be going through Massanet as Faust steps up and fires a three. Thomas comes away with the rebound, but goes to the ground. And he's called for the turnover.
Yeah, it's slippery with that in.
Feet come up from under him, yep. Ball knocked away.
Turnovers both ways.
A Biff filling the lane and one.
But a Biff got that ball because Massanet got all the way to the basket, drew all the Illinois State defenders, and he threw it back. Watch this. Two guys run to Massanet, and then a Biff is wide open, and he attacks the boards and finishes.
Tyler Brown picking up his fourth on the play as the help came late. 2:50 to play in overtime. It's a 3-point lead, and a Biff goes to the line. Kazembe Biff from Elizabeth, New Jersey, the sophomore. And the Go Birds cheer does it for the second time. Brown gets it to fall. Huge basket from Tyler Brown. They come right back with their leader, and it's off the shoulder. Carmichael thought he was pushed out of bounds.
Watch Tyler Brown. Squares his shoulders, squares his feet, comes off the screen with confidence, and gets the shooter's touch.
Same touch you had, right?
Oh, no doubt. No doubt. The older you get, the foggier your memory gets.
The older you get, the better you were.
That's right.
Full 35 seconds on the shot clock. 2:24 to play in overtime. Drexel has the ball. Chris Faust will trigger the inbound. They immediately get it to Massanet.
Pick and roll again. Draws two, dishes.
Too hard that time. Good rebound by John Icky.
Stay patient. Inside out. Play inside out. 15 seconds on the clock is a lot of time.
Maybe the best defense right now as they've got Carmichael nowhere near the basket.
Carmichael needs to get inside a little bit.
Screen comes, Brown goes the other way and does it himself.
Parting of the Red Sea.
Wow.
Everyone just opened up and he took advantage and went all the way.
Tyler Brown has no fear.
No,
he will shoot it anytime, anywhere.
But why he's so tough is he can catch and shoot, and he can go off the bounce. He can create his own shot.
His first step is deadly. Intercepted. Jackie Carmichael doing a number there, so under 1:08 to play, and it's Illinois State on top by 2.
Carmichael has made that play 2 or 3 times today where he's sided his man, played 3/4 on the side, and anticipated the pass and made the steal without fouling.
Tyler Brown has all 6 of the Redbirds' points in overtime. While Drexel may be keen on Carmichael, Brown doing the damage.
Exactly.
Oh, and a beautiful shot by Johnny Hill as the shot clock was expiring.
Tough finish by Hill. Hill silently has played a really tough game. Defensively, did a great job on Massanet. Now he's scoring, finishing right when they need him.
4-point lead and a 7-0 run for the Redbirds. Strong move to the lane by Derek Thomas. Cuts the lead in half.
Right now, it's going to be key for Drexel to try to get a stop. Wow. Good job. Everyone just opened up. Everyone ran to Carmichael because they thought they were going to go to him, and he got to the basket. And then Carmichael on the other end, tough defense, and then Hill with the drive and the finish.
Tyler Brown really stepping up here in the latter part of this game and in overtime. Plays a lot like, and I know I'm going to throw an old name out there, not that old, Rod Strickland.
Interesting.
Rocket Rod Strickland. As I watch Tyler Brown play, I think, you know, he's got that quick first step. And Rod rebounded well for some for a guard. And Brown is doing a good job also at shooting the ball, creating his own shot, and coming up with baskets in a timely fashion. Just to reset, the possession arrow now in favor of the Drexel Dragons. They have 2 timeouts. Illinois State has 2 timeouts. Drexel has 1. 27.8 seconds to play. John Eakey, 6'7" junior from Independence, Missouri, will inbound the ball for the Redbirds.
And Drexel picking up
full court press
for the first time tonight.
And a timeout called. Dan Muller saw some situations there he did not like, namely his best player, Jackie Carmichael, being double teamed down. They're either going to get 10-second violation or
travel. Possibly a travel.
The refs were not going to call the foul.
Smart call that time by Mueller to bail out his teammate right here. Catches it on the baseline. You don't want to catch it that tight to the end line if you can, but wise call to call timeout. Let's regroup and try to get your press offense a little bit more organized.
All right, 24.3 seconds. Illinois State has the ball. I'm going to put Ron Thompson because he's been there before. What are you dialing up if you're head coach Dan Muller? Trying to get the victory and take your team to 2-0 on the road.
Well, you're trying to get the ball right now in your best ball handlers as well as your best free throw shooters. So look for Brown to come hard to the ball. Look for Allen to come hard to the ball. As you see, they're putting Carmichael down away from the basket to try to pull some of the defense back because you have to give him some attention. And right now, you have to have good receivers as well as good shooters because you have to be able to get open in crunch time to get the ball.
Ball knocked away by Massanet.
See, Drexel has nothing to lose by being overly aggressive.
Right.
If the ref calls a foul, so what? If the ref misses it, we get a steal and right under our basket.
Beautiful. Allen, who played football at Minnesota, and wide open is Carmichael. Fouls comes over for the foul to keep the instant 2. And Muller's looking for the
foul on Drexel number 3, Chris Fouch.
Good job that time by Illinois State keeping their head up, not getting consumed with the pressure that Drexel applied and finding the open men.
I was going to say, coach was looking for the flagrant. So with 19.7 of 9 from the line, Jackie Carmichael calmly steps up and knocks the first one down.
Imagine if you're a first-year coach and we tell you, look, your first year, we're going to give you the player of the year of the conference. We're going to also give you 2 of the most effective scorers in the backcourt in the conference.
Yep.
Heck of a luxury to have walking in the door.
And we're going to upgrade your locker room.
And we're going to upgrade your locker rooms in the coach's offices. And we're going to give you a plane. We're going to charter down. We're going to charter some flights as well.
Under 10 seconds to play, no time here. and a timeout called. Bruiser Flint gets to it, not happy the way his team was executing. So 8.1 seconds to go. They're down by 4. They need either a quick 2 or a 3, and then either a foul or a steal on the inbounds.
Exactly right. Don't try to go for a 3, you know, because you're down 4. So take the first good look you have. If you can get to the basket, do that, but you got to go quickly. And then once you score, you can't celebrate. You got to pick up and gamble. Go for a steal. Be overly aggressive. If the ref calls it, he calls it. If he doesn't, it's to your benefit.
Drexel is now out of timeout, so they trail by 4. Illinois State still with 1 timeout, so they have that luxury in a 4-point lead. All right, I asked you earlier in the game what impressed you the most. Now that we're into overtime with 8 seconds to play, do you want to revise of what impressed you as far as Illinois State goes?
Well, I really like how the guards didn't have a problem with deferring to Carmichael when he got to going well. Carmichael was going well. Brown and Allen didn't seem to be in competition with him. Right. They played off of him. And that's where your maturity, that's where your coaching, that's where, your security in yourself comes into play. They know he's their bread and butter, but they also know when it's time for them to step up and when it's time for them to defer. And that's hard. That's a hard balance, especially when you're a scorer.
8.1 seconds, no timeouts left for the Dragons. Derek Thomas will inbound. Faust lines up a big 3 and hits it.
Now you got to pick up. You got to pick up quickly and go for the steal.
Foul called with 4.6 seconds. It is a 1-point game, and now it's all on the shoulders of Johnny Hill.
Good execution, felt square at his feet, nice follow through, nailed it. Muller stayed calm, though.
His eyes got big, but he stayed calm.
He stayed calm.
Looking to go 2-0 as a first-year head coach. Bruiser Flint looking for his 200th win. And he hits it.
Clutch, clutch. Each little point helps.
So here we go. Even if he hits this one and you think, well, would he be better off missing it? But then it becomes a 3-point to win it. Anything to slow them down. Remember, Drexel has no timeouts. 43 of the 45 minutes, this was a 5-point or closer game. Here we are in overtime. It's a 2-point game.
Don't try to miss it. Try and make it.
Rattles in and out.
Push it.
Mazinet had a good look at it. Came out of the pack, and it's off the glass, off the target. Doug Collins goes home a happy Red